Okay. Again, hopefully the microphone works. Hopefully I don't talk too quickly. Apologies, it's not in Francais. For those in the room who does not know what PeerInDB is, if you do not know what PeerInDB is, please put your hand up. Excellent. Put your hand up if you do have a PeerInDB record. Let's see who's awake at this time of the day. Okay, so it looks like there's a good number of people here. Hopefully this might be useful for. So PeerInDB, it says behind me here, and we can share these slides afterwards, and we are going to do a French translation. But PeerInDB is a non-profit, member-based organization. It really facilitates a website, a database, and it's a way for you as a network operator or an IXP operator or as a data center operator to look up and find details out. If you, let's say, run a network and you want to peer with Meta, you can go to PeerInDB, you can look up our ASN, and you can see where you can peer with us. So it's really a database where you can also, as well as looking at data, you can go and create your own records in the database for you, for your network, for your IX, your center. A number of, why it's important, a number of different networks, which include Meta, who I represent, require you to have a PeerInDB record to actually set up peering. So it's one key reason why you should consider, if you don't have a PeerInDB record already, to create one, is it is now becoming more of a requirement of different network operators. Happy to help you if you need support with that. You can grab me today, I'll be here tomorrow, and we can talk about that in more details. And one reason some people want and require this is you can actually use the data in PeerInDB to drive your network automation. And that's what we do at Meta. We take the data from PeerInDB and we use that data to push configuration to our routers. Next slide, please. Different ways you can access PeerInDB. Obviously, to kind of build it into automation, there's an API, so you can make systematic queries against the PeerInDB data. But also for kind of day-to-day use, there is a GUI, there is a web interface, and you can just go to peerindb.com and search the data. Next slide, please. A little bit about the organization. It's a non-profit US organization, and we're 100% funded by sponsorship. So thank you to those sponsors in the room. We have a slide for them listed at the end. There's some membership rules here. There's a governance list. We can talk more about that in detail, but fundamentally it's a non-profit, membership-driven organization. You as a community can join the mailing list, you can contribute, you can volunteer, you can help out. It's membership-owned, membership-governed. Next slide, please. For product development, and bugs and features, we use GitHub, and actually you can go on to GitHub and check online and go and look at the open issues. You can also go and create an issue if you feel like there's something you need to report or something that's not working properly. And then we have a product committee which evaluates those new features coming in. Again, membership driven, we have a finite amount of resource of people, we can't build everything. And so we look at what really the community's wanting and what the community's driving us for. And your input's needed. Please go and take a look. Next slide. Beta development is really important. Before we push these features into general production, we have a beta version of PeerInDB. You can access that quite easily by going to beta.peerindb.com. And we'd encourage you to try that out. If you are a regular user of PeerInDB and you want to try and get the latest features, go to that URL. Those features are there. You can try them out. And again, we're looking for feedback on them. Next slide, please. So just talk a little bit about some other developments we've got coming along at the moment, stuff that's new in PeerInDB. Hopefully for those who use it, some of this might be interesting, might be new. Next slide, please. Thank you. So we're improving the user interface of the web version. Some feedback we've had is when people are at a conference like this and you're trying to look up something quickly on your mobile, the UI is a bit clunky. So we're actually checking that. You can see a kind of screen grab of it here on the slide behind me. But what will happen is on your mobile device, the page will actually start to fit that device footprint. So if it's an iPad or a tablet or a phone, we'll try and start to fit in the screen real estate that's available. And there'll also be some dashboard options so you can kind of start to customize it a bit. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. This is just one feature I think is really useful for KMZs. If you're using those for your fiber designs, your fiber routing, you can now actually start to export data from PeeringDB into a KMZ or a KMZ. For facility data, you can now start to map facilities onto a KMZ, so the locations. We export these daily, and then you can import that KMZ to Google Maps. And later this year, we're going to start doing searches that you have to KMZ. So you can now start to generate customized KMZs, and you can take that maybe with a design or a map from your fiber provider, and you can start to overlay these things together. Thank you, merci beaucoup. Search, we're improving that as well. So historically, search has been quite limited, and we've known that, and we've heard that from the community. So we're going to start sort of doing location support. We're going to support Boolean operators. And you can see kind of an example here. You can start to actually put location names in. You can start to put the locations names in. You can also use the, I forget the RFC, but you can use the 2-letter country codes as well. So you could say IX is in Cote d'Ivoire or IX is in Nigeria, and it will start to return those entries for you. Next slide, please. We touched on this a moment. I put these slides quickly together earlier, and I clearly forgot to take the other one out.
Alors, nous aurons la version bêta tout à l'heure. Donc, c'est comme ça, c'est à travers le retour que nous apprenons de ce qui est bon, ce qui n'est pas bon, et nous verrons comment améliorer cela. Alors, nous aimerons avoir votre feedback. Et si vous avez des questions, si vous avez des recommandations à propos des produits, vous pouvez contacter le comité de produits sur peeringdb.com. Prochaine diapo, s'il vous plaît. Alors, pour l'appel pour le volontariat, nous avons un comité d'admin. Alors, si vous avez des questions concernant, nous avons un espace de questions-réponses. Vous pouvez les suggestions également. Peut-être que vous avez une expérience de réseautage. Donc, ce genre de requête serait bien pour notre comité d'administration. Donc, nous faisons un appel pour le volontariat à travers le monde. S'il y a des gens qui sont intéressés ou pourraient apprendre un peu plus, alors vous pouvez également envoyer un email à l'adresse de Admin Committee. Prochaine diapo. Et finalement, comme je l'ai mentionné, donc PNDB est financé par des volontaires, pas des volontaires, par des organisations. Donc, il y a les financements qui aident à faire tourner l'entreprise. Donc, vous connaissez certains de nos sponsors, il y a beaucoup d'entre eux aussi que vous ne connaissez pas. Et si vous avez des questions, je suis libre et je vous écoute.
Any question for both? In the meantime, if we have our third speaker coming. By the way, I didn't do presentation because you saw them both on the personal. Well, before presenting you, why peering? What's the link PeeringDB and Facebook?
They're two independent organizations.
Donc, c'est deux organisations totalement indépendantes. Donc, PeeringDB est volontaire, est basé sur la volonté. C'est une communauté de volontaires. Alors, je donne mon temps personnellement à PeeringDB en tant que volontaire. Il n'y a aucun rapport, il n'y a aucun lien.
Cheers.
Absolutely.
Good.
Alors, Facebook et IA. Alors, des questions? Si vous sentez-vous libre de poser des questions, si vous en avez. Je crois que notre troisième intervenant n'est pas là. Oh, OK. Alors, je ne me suis pas présenté. Je suis Carl de Trinet. Trinet, basé dans la République de Bénin, qui fonctionne à Abidjan. Et oubliez à propos du match Nigeria-Bénin.